I think it's about time that we rank all the characters and just see which ones we think are the strongest. And by we, I mean me and Blaziken. So today I'm actually joined by Blaziken Anime.
What's up?
So Blaziken Anime, I was about to say Blaziken Anime. So Blaziken is a JJK YouTuber. He makes absolutely great JJK content. Be sure to check out his channel. Link is in the description. But yes, this video is going to be us listing off our top 10 characters of the year. And actually, before you watch this video, I would actually like if you guys list off your top 10 characters to see what you guys think before you're influenced by this video. And now, before we actually get into the list, two things that you guys should be aware of. Number one, there's not going to be any Shikigami such as Maharoga or Rika. So Rika counts as a part of Yuta, but Maharoga or Rika themselves individually don't count. And another thing is, we know some of the characters who are placed lower than other characters could beat them in a 1v1, because again, this isn't Dragon Ball Z or Seven Deadly Sins or something. Just because you're stronger than them doesn't mean you always win. Matchups and how abilities counter each other actually matter a lot. So for example, someone at number 9 could maybe beat someone at number 6 or 7. And of course, if you want to become a member and help the channel out, be sure to do so. We have a lot of cool emotes and badges. And thanks to all the special rated and honorable members of the channel, which is just that guy Trey by the way. Thanks, man. Alright, now to start off the video, we're going to start off with the honorable mentions because there are a lot of strong characters and we just couldn't include all of them, unfortunately. So I'll start off with my first one, and it is Jogo. Now, Jogo is very powerful, he's very strong. You know, he's got domain expansion and maximum, but he is just 8-9 Sukuna fingers, which again, I know not everyone likes the Sukuna finger scaling.
And then my honorable mention is Mahito himself. Obviously, Mahito is extremely strong. We got to see his final form, 0.2 domain expansion. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see enough of him at 100% in his final form. I think his strength speaks for himself, and he has hacks with ideal transfiguration.
Another honorable mention that I have is Toji. Now, this is going to be pretty interesting because another heavily restricted user is on this top 10 list, and I will actually break that down when I get to that character, but that's what I got here.
And then my next honorable mention is my boy. No, not my boy.
Your boy, yeah.
My next honorable mention is Curse Room Naoya, and while his domain is crazy, projection sorcery is crazy, and I think the damage he was doing in Sakujumo is evident, and he's one of the most strongest combatants in this series.
And then of course, my final honorable mention is base Hakari, and it's very important to say base Hakari, so if he starts off without jackpot. If he doesn't, I just think everyone else on the list would kill him before he could even hit his first jackpot.
Honorable mention is Ghetto. So if you know me, I'm a huge Ghetto fan, but I'm only putting Ghetto in honorable mention because I don't like the scaling in volume 0, and I believe it's pretty inconsistent. However, if you ask me my potential opinion, I do believe he's relative to the special grade, so he would be around the 6th to 7th range. However, I don't like to use volume 0 as scaling because things such as Ghetto can beat Gojo with Rika, or Gojo will have trouble against Rika, don't make too much sense to me with the portrayal of somebody such as Gojo, and that is why I don't have him on this list currently.
I mean, understandable, because you know, he is the weakest special grade, so you know.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah. Alright, now for number 10, I actually have Maki. The reason I have Maki and not Toji is because I think Toji is a far better assassin, but I do think Maki right now is just in her physical prime, so she might be just a bit stronger or faster, or at the very least she just might be more active, because you know, Toji was just a bit rusty. However you take that statement, maybe it's just his assassination skills, or maybe it's actually just his physical skills. Regardless, I think Maki is more suited towards actual combat, whereas Toji is far better suited for assassinations and prepped fights. So that's why I have Maki being number 10.
And for me at number 10, I also have Maki. So this is one where I am 50-50 on, and with more time, I believe Maki can climb much higher on my list. The reason I have Maki currently at number 10 is they're currently capped at pre-awakened Gojo, which we get from Toji's words that they were weaker than pre-awakened Gojo. Some of the people I have on this list, I believe, are potentially stronger than currently pre-awakened Gojo, and that is the only current weakness to why I have Maki a little lower. However, that means in terms of actual combat, they do very well against a lot of these people on the list, and I think as more time gets seen with heavily restriction, this will be somebody who ends up climbing the ranks, especially if we get to a part where Maki begins to completely surpass Toji. So number 10, Maki/Toji.
And for my number 9, I actually just have Ghetto, though it is assuming he has reverse curse technique and a domain expansion. The thing is, he is a very strong combatant, but I mean, even Kenjaku can use his own technique far better than he uses his own, which granted, it's Kenjaku who has so much knowledge in his soul, so I guess that makes sense, but it's still with the assumption that he has a lot of things which we never actually got to see him do. If he doesn't have his domain expansion or his reverse curse technique, I would actually have Maki number 9 and Toji number 10, but assuming he does, I have him at number 9.
And then at number 9, I have Ryu Ishigori. So Ryu Ishigori, the person with the highest curse energy output, he has Granate Blast, in which he uses curse energy discharge to use widespread beams. base. He has a domain expansion, was able to box Rika, and he's one of the strongest combatants in the series. I only put him at number 9 because he does not have reverse curse technique, who number 8 potentially does, and that is why I edge this person, but his strength speaks for himself, and he's one of the strongest fighters in the series.
Alright, so for number 8, I actually have Uro. She has a domain expansion, and with the Viz translation, so this is something Blaziken hinted at just before. If you follow the Viz translation, she has reverse curse technique. Follow the unofficial translations, it's just potentially she has reverse curse technique. Regardless, I still think she is easily special grade level. I mean, she's reacting to and easily keeping up with Ryu and Yuta like it's nothing. She has a special grade level curse technique, domain expansion, and she has curse techniques that do more damage than even Rika. So yes, she really is just something else.
And at number 8, I have Uro as well. So Uro is one of the most dangerous fighters. She uses her curse technique of sky manipulation in hand-to-hand combat to prevent people from fighting back. She has amazing durability, being able to tank hits from both Yuta and Rika, where they were both double teaming against her. Granted, they weren't trying to kill her, but similarly still being able to not take that much damage, as well as getting jumped by Kurorushi and the damage she incurred, and taking a full Granate blast and still managing to survive showcases the elite level durability she has. She's also an assassin in the toughest era, being the Heian era, and like Kaio hinted, this translation indicates from Ryu's assumption that she would potentially have reverse curse technique, and she has a technique such as Thin Ice Missile which breaks guard. I think her arsenal, with her sky manipulation being one of the most broken curse techniques, it makes her extremely versatile, and being able to fly away from enemies, she has one of the best defensive utility we've seen in the series.
Now for number 6 and 7, you can switch these two around, and honestly, truly, I just cannot pick between the two who's stronger, but for now I'll say number 7 is Ryu Ishiguro. And now yes, as I said in the beginning, I understand Uro could beat Ryu in a fight, but I just think Ryu is slightly stronger. He has the highest output in history, he's able to box up and go blow for blow with Rika like it's nothing, he has very destructive techniques that could even one-shot special grade level sorcerers, and of course, you know, he's just him. It's just Ryu Ishiguro with his domain expansion as well. That's who I got at number 7.
And then number 7 for me, I have the man himself, Hajime Kashimo. So Hajime Kashimo is one of the most dangerous fighters, and his hand-to-hand combat is elite. He has his curse energy trait of electricity, which can not only affect sorcerers who do not have a high enough output that they'll be affected by the electricity, he can also use a sure hit effect like a domain expansion, in which he can build up charges on the user to use to take off damaging body parts. I mean, we saw the damage he did against an unkillable individual such as Hakari, and the potential of a one-time technique to come, which could potentially boost him even further. Hajime Kashimo is one of the most dangerous fighters and deserving of this number 7 spot.
Now, funny enough, for my number 6, I actually have Kashimo. As with all the points that Blaziken said, I mean, he was cooking, I'm just going to add on to them. Yeah, Kashimo is just something else with his electrical cursed energy trait. He took so much abuse and damage from Jackpot Hakari for like 13-14 minutes, and he was relatively fine. It's genuinely incredible how much damage he can do, how strong he is, durable he is, how high his defense is, and of course, how insanely fast this guy is. And I have no doubt that if he uses his curse technique, he would probably shoot up all the way to number 3, and hey, maybe challenging Gojo Sukuna, but you know, that's just me, that's just me.
I don't know about all that, but
hey, maybe, but yeah.
That nicely to number 6 for me, and that is my guy Hakari. So Hakari, obviously I'm going to scale both base and Jackpot Hakari, but with the text that we got, we even have Yuta himself say Jackpot Hakari can beat him. But similarly, because we don't know how quick it is for him to go from base to Jackpot, I believe he's just slowly just below some of these other fighters, and he's one of the most strongest combatants in the series. A person who was hyped up by Gojo as a student on the level of not only Yuta, but a person to potentially surpass Gojo himself. His domain expansion making him immortal, having unlimited curse energy, being able to loot multiple domains. He is him, and he is that guy for a reason, and deserving of this number 6 spot.
And for me at number 5, I actually have Yuta, of course, but however, I just want to include that there is Jackpot Hakari at number 5 with an asterisk. So what I mean is, if he starts a fight off like he did with Kashimo in Jackpot, then he would be at number 5. However, if he starts off in base, then as you know, he's in Honourable Mentions. But if you want to include Hakari starting off in Jackpot, this is where I place him, just above Yuta. But not including that, I just have Yuta at number 5. So Yuta is just incredible. I mean, for the 5 minutes where he has Rika and his curse technique Mimicry, he is actually just unstoppable. He has an infinite funnel of cursed energy. He's just reverse curse technique healing himself all the time. and yeah, he's just something else in those 5 minutes. Though of course, the 5 time limit is a massive weakness, so it's why he's not any higher.
Yep, and then that nicely comes to my number 5, and that is Yuta Okotsu, the man deemed second to Gojo in unusual ability. And this is why I don't have him over the final special grade Yuki, because depending on the translation, there are some translations that potentially say Yuta is second in the modern A, and if you go with that translation, then it's more than fine to have him over Yuki. However, there's another great translation from Lightning which specifies that the viz is correct and it's in regard to unusual ability. Now you're asking me, what does unusual abilities mean? There's things such as my construction could be seen as a very unusual ability. There's things such as Reggie's receipts that can be deemed as unusual ability. It's far more open intended, and because of Yuki's final attack of the black hole and things that we saw in terms of her concepts, I believe Yuta has the full arsenal with things to come, with more abilities to see, with him to have a domain expansion, him having Rika, having the highest tier reverse curse technique. He is him. However, I believe with his 5 minutes weakness and the potential of still seeing a lot more of his arsenal to come, I am currently keeping him at number 5.
At number 4, then of course I have Yuki, you know, with Bombaye, with her Shikigami Garyuda, which is also a curse tool, her domain expansion, her black hole, potentially maximum, or potentially just her using her normal curse technique to the max, which, okay, well I guess that's a maximum, but whatever you think it is, she's just insanely powerful, because even without that black hole, I actually think she would already beat Yuta with just her normal ability, especially because she has no time limit. So again, that's just me, and I'll pass it off to Blazer.
Yeah, and to build up, I have number 4 Yuki as well. I mean, being able to create a black hole and currently the first planetary character that we've seen in the series, she showcased why she's her. She has a reverse curse technique, has a domain expansion, has the ability to negate concepts, and potentially with what I infer was her using her maximum output with her creating the black hole. These things just showcase why she is a top tier sorcerer, and had the fight she had used her domain expansion from the jump, the fight could have gone differently against Kenjaku, and I believe unfortunately Tengen set her up, and RIP the GOAT.
Yes, RIP the GOAT, man. She just went out like a boss. But at number 3 we have the person who killed Yuki, Kenjaku. I mean, he's just got so many curse techniques. The anti-gravity, which you can use reversal of curse technique to make it a gravity curse technique. He has Geto's own curse technique, which he uses far better than Geto does, and he has reverse curse technique. He has an insane domain expansion without a barrier. I mean, yeah, Kenjaku really is just the strongest character whose name isn't Gojo or Sukuna.
Yep, to just build on that, he's built different. I mean, being able to use not only the anti-reversal of a curse technique, but to potentially be able to use, and this is headcanon, inhabiting sure hits of the different bodies that he has. I mean, we're still being able to realize what his true curse technique is, because we currently assume is body swapping, but there could potentially be more with it, with him being able to use even more curse techniques with the potential of other bodies he has. Like he said, he ended up killing Yuki with only losing a shirt from a black hole. I mean, he has the full arsenal, and he arguably has the best knowledge of Jujutsu behind the honored one being Sukuna.
Alright, now for number 1 and 2, as you've all guessed, we have Gojo and Sukuna. What's interesting is where we've placed each of them. Now, personally, I think if they fight, they're just gonna kill each other unless, you know, Sukuna does something underhanded. I'm pushing the Gojo agenda. I gotta push the Gojo agenda, you know, he's him. But even though I think they truly are even, I got Gojo number 1 and Sukuna number 2, man. The hacks that Gojo has, and it's just crazy already what he has, and if he has anything else we haven't seen, he just is the God King of the verse.
And to build on that, I have Gojo number 2 and Sukuna number 1. You can pick whichever you believe is stronger, but I believe with Sukuna being the strongest in the toughest era, just points nicely for me at 20 fingers Sukuna will be the strongest in the verse. And I mean, his knowledge of Jujutsu is either on par with Kenjaku or even surpasses that. And with Sukuna being like Kenjaku, having an open domain expansion, it just shows that their barrier techniques is of even higher level. And I believe these are just the 2 strongest in the series, and it's not even close till my boy Megami touches their level. I
mean, Megami, what? Come on. Listen, I think Megami's gonna get strong, but just wait until Kashimo uses curse technique, man.
Alright,
that's all I'm saying, bro.
I'm ready to flip the series, Megami, trust me.
Alright, we'll see who actually reaches that level, you know. My money's on Kashimo, your money's on Megami, so We'll see
Yes,
what happens.
sir.
But let us know what your top 10 is in the comments down below if you didn't in the beginning of the video. Because yeah, there are a lot of characters, there's a lot of matchups, and again, it's not about who beats who, it's about who's stronger. So maybe someone at number 9, 10 can beat someone who's at number 5 or 6, but they just counted them very well. Doesn't mean they're strong.
And to build on that, a lot of these characters have still so much to show, so this list can easily change in the future. So with more showcasing and more knowledge on these certain sorcerers, a lot of this list can change, and people such as, for example, Urame, who has not even been considered, could end up on this list as well.
I mean, yeah, man, I think Urame is actually headcanon, pure headcanon, gonna be stronger than Geto, but you know, it is what it is. We'll see if they have a domain.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, it was great recording this video. And yeah, much love guys for watching this video. It was a great way to end the year off, though this video is probably coming out just a bit into 2023, but hey, you get the point. And of course, be sure to check out Blaziken as well. He makes absolutely great JJK content, so the link to his channel is in the description below. And yeah,
you got to this part of the Higuruma fan club, so shout out you, man.
Yeah, hey, he knows. See, just tell us if you're part of the Higuruma fan club in the comments below, my man.
Yes,
all right. Yeah, but also thank you to all the channel members as well. Much love guys, you keep these things alive and it's much appreciated. So once again, thank you. But yeah, that's all. Take care guys and see you.